Welcome to the SEO.co Search Engine Optimization Podcast. Digital marketing essentials and next level tactics. From offsite and on-site optimization to persuasive selling and everything in between. You'll learn actionable tips on what it takes to outright and outrank your competition. Now, here's your host, Nate Need.
Hello again, and welcome to another episode of the SEO podcast. Today, we are going to be discussing a little bit high-level information on SEO tools that you can use to improve your knowledge base. And it's interesting, we are part of, or at least we get the emails from Help a Reporter Out for providing basic information for reporters looking for commentary on specific topics. And one of the more recent ones that came through that we responded to was, are today's SEO tools really worth their weight? And the question revolved around the idea that a lot of the SEO tools that are out there just don't have all the data, which is true, because you're not going directly to the source, which in most cases is Google and or Bing, to get the information that you need, and your none of the crawlers out there, even Ahrefs, which internally, at least for marketing purposes, boasts that they have the most active crawlers out there besides Google. Even their information is quite delayed, even compared to Google. There's just such a vast amount of content out there, and the amount that's being produced on a daily basis is just astronomical. And so for even for a web crawler to keep up with it, you can understand why the information is delayed, why things are not entirely accurate. And even Google of late has had a lot of issues. I know it was a couple months ago, there was an issue with Google. There have been several bugs with Google Analytics that they've had to iron out. Several bugs related to Google Search Console that needed to be fixed, and glitches that people were seeing that caused people to freak out for a day, and then they realized, in the Twitter sphere, everybody's tweeting the same thing, so it must be some sort of widespread issue. And so the data isn't 100% accurate, which is really frustrating, because when you're paying for clicks, you need to be able to trust that your data is accurate. And as the saying goes, data don't lie, but people do. If your data is lying to you, then you've got other issues at hand. Now, having said that, there are still a lot of really great SEO tools available on the market, and I'll link to a few that we use, but my favorite, first and foremost, is probably Ahrefs, followed by Moz. I've used SEMRush in the past and Agency Analytics in the past, but Ahrefs and Moz are probably my top two picks. We like to use Trust Flow and Citation Flow from SEMRush on occasion if we're looking to see if a site is too spammy or not. The Moz spam score is and can be helpful as well. But each one of these tools has different strengths and weaknesses over others, but over time, each one of them becomes more on par with the other as a feature that people like is released, someone else copies it and or improves upon it. And so there's a lot of opportunity to really hone in and do SEO in a really strategic and targeted way. And that's the way it has to be these days. There's no such thing as garnering enough links to compete with companies who have been around for 20 years, building links for 20 years, have the domain authority that would be jealous for anybody, and then at the same time they're outranking you for the most highly coveted key terms in an industry that is really competitive. And so in order for you to win, you've got to have the right tools and really use those tools to do keyword research that will allow you to hone in on keywords that are niche specific that you can actually rank for, and then from there kind of broaden out as you build your own domain authority on the sites that you're working on. So the opportunities abound, but I will link to a number of other items in the show notes. The things that I like to see in the SEO tools that I use are New backlinks procured. I want to see what kind of backlinks are coming in. We might be doing some, some guest writing for our own sites or our client sites, and we want to track whether or not those links are getting indexed. You can track whether or not they're indexed in Google just by doing a site search, but apart from that, you want to see if Ahrefs or Moz is pulling or able to pull those up. The other thing that I like to track when it comes to links is the volume of spammy links. So you really want to kind of have your nose to the ground there and see when someone might be trying to perform a negative SEO campaign and try to quell that as quickly as possible. And while there are many who will say negative SEO isn't a thing, it truly isn't a thing because Google's getting smarter, but you still want to disavow, remove, and there's just a lot of really nefarious individuals out there trying to do things that would hurt other businesses, which is just not cool. And so we try to keep an eye on that for ourselves and our clients. I really love the auditing tool in Ahrefs that'll audit our site once a week. So they'll crawl and look for things like 404 errors, broken links, and any other potential issues that are not able to be seen by the naked eye, but it'll give you kind of a sense of your overall health score and give you alerts as to what things you might want to fix. And so having that monitor on is really, really helpful. On the flip side, you also want to be able to do content gap analysis, keyword analysis, and keep that going so you can come up with really good ideas for blog content and on-site and off-site content for link procurement. So there are a host of other tools. We actually have created a number of link building tools, link viewing tools on our site as well, so you can go and take a look at some of those. We'll link to those in the show notes, but we appreciate you joining us today. Love to have your feedback. What are your favorite SEO tools that you use? What are some of the things that you like to see? What are the metrics that you are checking on the daily and on the weekly for using your SEO tools? Thanks again for joining us. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and we look forward to having you on again soon.
Thank you for joining us on the SEO.co podcast. We appreciate your time. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe to the show, and visit SEO.co for more resources based on today's topic, as well as access to more podcast episodes to help you improve your site's long-term SEO success.